The 2023 franchise tag window is now open. A lot of guys are up for unrestricted free agents up for this tag. And one guy is Orlando Brown, our left tackle, who completely dominated in the playoffs in the 3 games. Had 191 offensive snaps in the postseason. He committed only one penalty. I believe it was the false start in the Super Bowl. And allowed 0 sacks, which is the big thing. I've seen the stat go around a little bit. I haven't seen the amount of pressures he had. That has not been added to, but I think that goes against the narrative. People want to keep Orlando Brown around. But prior to the 2022 season, we offered him a 6-year, $139 million extension, which he declined, betting on himself. In the tag last year, he earned $16.7 million. And a second straight tag would boost his salary to 120%. It would be a $20 million for this coming season if we were to tag him again. But sources, according to the Athletics' Nate Taylor, all indications point that he will not hit the open market. And ESPN's Jeff Darlington also said that the Chiefs intend to get a long-term deal with him. So, JD, what should the Chiefs do here with Orlando Brown?
Well, look, man, hats off to what he's done in the last 3 games. And he played good football. He really did. And I noticed, just his ascension to getting better. He was definitely doing a great job at left tackle. You didn't really quite see a lot of the pressures and things like that you seen early on in the year. And I said this before, sometimes when he came into the season, it was still trying to get acclimated from not going into training camp and all those different things and, not being for the OT, all of that, right? And so it was going to take him some time to catch up. And I think he also fell behind because he had an injury, right? We didn't quite talk about that, with his knee and his leg. Well, shoot, that affects a guy who's, obviously having to kick step and stop these pass rushers, some of the best in the business. And so thank God he had all that going against him, right? And then, of course, the pressures of not signing a long-term contract. He's going to be signed next year. And I'm sure you heard a lot of that about him not being. I was like, oh, man, he's sucking right now, this and that. So I think, in my estimation, you do franchise tagging, okay? See where it goes. If you want to play this thing all over again, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go play Russian roulette, see what happens this all season. See if he goes into the same thing. That's a lot of money. That's a boatload of money. And I think the Chiefs may do that. I think that might be their option to keep him in-house just for what he played the last few weeks of the season.
And that's one thing, too. It's like I read earlier, and he had great playoffs, Orlando Brown, amazing playoffs. I think it was Tom Pelissero on NFL Network was talking about how, we have Wiley free agent, Orlando Brown free agent. He wants top 5 money. I think sometimes playoffs in a ring can change a lot of people's narratives and stuff. And that helps, that definitely helps his side of trying to negotiate. But going into that Cincinnati AFC Championship game, Tom Pelissero said that Cincinnati thought that Orlando Brown Jr. was the weakest link on our offensive line, which that tells you something, and I'm not taking away against the way he played in the playoffs. Obviously, he played amazing, but could you see? No one thought at this point last year, no one thought Tyreek Hill was gone. Could you see us place a non-exclusive tag on him this year? And if a team matches it and tries to match the contract and then trades a second or first for him, could you see that? I mean, is that something you could see happen with Veach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, everything is on the table, to be honest with you. I mean, the thing is, he's like, he's okay. Having left tackle is a necessity. Okay. It is an absolute necessity. And so we know the guy that is protecting PM15 has to be a great guy. He's got to be a good football player, good left tackle, no doubt about it. And so you have to weigh hey, well, look, if this guy is leaving, do we have somebody to replace it? Do we have guys that we can get in? Is there guys in the draft that we could possibly get? And look, and I've said this, I'd rather, put money on a guy that has experience, has played in the game, played in the NFL, that you're going to get to protect Patrick Mahomes. That's just where I'm at. I know how hard it is to get a left tackle and to see what he's going to make, what he's going to be in the future. And so sometimes when you go in the draft, you don't quite know what you're going to get. Now, we looked at a couple of guys, on film that we kind of like, and I think we kind of wearing hats of Ohio State, right? We've seen two guys, the left tackle and the right tackle, Paris Johnson and Dawand Jones. I mean, we're talking about two athletic guys that could probably come up here. And I would want somebody athletic like that, okay, to come up here and play. We're talking guys that's projected in, early first to like late first. And so that's what I would look to try to replace a guy like that, right? And we said maybe those guys are projects. Maybe those guys are something, the learning curve coming into the NFL. Do you want these guys, young guys, protecting Patrick Mahomes? But yeah, like you said, the tag in itself, man, it's all open, man. It's all open. This is how football works. This is NFL. And so do you not want to put that type of money if somebody's saying, hey, we want this guy, fine, right? They'll be able to let him go. Like you said, Tyreek Hill situation proved that nobody is bigger than the team. I think the one guy that you definitely need is PM15. That's who you're building the team around, okay? Yeah. Let's just be honest here. But you got to have guys in place that do a capable job of protecting him.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And I think, and I've seen some people on Chiefs Kingdom Twitter, everyone wants to keep Wiley around. It's like we drafted Kennard, who we had on our show, friend of the show. And we also have guys like Prince, and we also still have Niang. And that's a luxury too. Let's say we do sign Orlando Brown or give him a tag this year. He stays on our team for 1 year. We can technically use that first round pick for anything. I mean, it's kind of a luxury, right? You can go get your right tackle and have your stalwart right tackle for the rest of for the next 4 or 5 years. For 5 years, the 5th year option. You could draft Dawand Jones. You have your right tackle for the next 5 years. Boom. That's a problem solved. Done. We don't have to think about that. Right. But you could go in a different way. There's so many things we can do. And yeah, I think you're right. I think Veach has shown that nothing is off the table with him. Obviously, you have Patrick Mahomes. That's obviously the one thing that's off the table. That's never going anywhere. But like everything else, Orlando Brown, like, yeah, great playoffs. But I remember all year long, we had everyone complaining about the amount of pressures he was giving up, right. So it's like, yeah, great 3-game stretch.
Mid-season, it was kind of iffy, right? People was like, oh, no, we can't bring this guy back. Yeah. There were some things to me that was concerning too, when some of his play. And like I said, I think I alluded to that earlier, just with maybe some of the injuries and stuff like that. Just kind of going through that whole process of getting to where he's at. And at the end of the year, he started playing a lot better game. Started being a lot better left tackle. And so the thing is, will that continue? I think Wiley is a little bit more expendable than Brown. I really do. Like you said, we got a lot of depth with Prince. We got, Darian Kennard. I mean, Niang is here. So we got guys, okay? And so like you said, if we want to say that first round pick, which I think more of our need is D-line. That's where I would go with it. That's me personally in my pick. I think to me, that's what we have to address. So I don't know, man. It's going to be one of those off season. You're always going to speculate what these things are going to look like, what it's going to be. I like to see maybe after how the combine goes, what they're talking about, where guys are being slotted, to kind of get in that conversation. And so this off season is going to be very, very very exciting. Okay. It's going to be very exciting to see where everybody is doing.
Yeah. We have 3 weeks till free agency opens up. So March 15th. So I'm guessing that based on what Jeff Darlington reported, Nate Taylor reported, we want to keep him in-house. We want a long-term deal with him. We said this last year too. So by March 15th, we'll probably know if we're going to give him a franchise tag. By that point, that'll kind of set the kind of the agenda for the rest of the offseason.
Sure.
So a lot to be seen, but it bodes well for him that we won a Super Bowl. He had no sacks allowed, and he's also really close to Patrick Mahomes. So all of that kind of bodes well for him in the negotiation process.
And look, that's a great argument, right? And the thing is, hey, PM15, a guy's protecting you. It was a little bit different with Tyreek. Well, we give him the ball to him, but we still have, capable, viable receivers for Tyreek. People didn't know what it was going to look like. But I can tell you what, if you don't have a left tackle that's going to be able to protect PM15, it's going to be a whole lot different. That's a whole different conversation altogether.
Yeah. And every Chief fan saw Super Bowl 55 and knows that, if we had Orlando Brown, it probably would have been a little different.
Absolutely.
I think people forget that Wiley was one of the O-linemen playing in that game. For the people that want to pay Wiley a lot of money, I mean, he's going to get that money somewhere. And it's just that I just think that we have more needs where that money needs to go, and we have the depth to kind of provide what Wiley did at that right time.
Listen, look, I like Wiley, right? I think he came in, he filled the void where we needed him, and he did a tremendous job with the need that we had for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Thing is, NFL, things change. And so if you could get cool. But that's how it is, man. That's how it works.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and I think whether he gets the money here or not, I think that some other team's going to pay him more than what we can offer. So he's probably going to go with the best offer. And what we had him on a 2-year, $2 million deal. Like, I mean, he was making nothing. He was making peanuts with us. I mean, $2 million is a lot of money for guys like me over here. But but no, I mean, he's going to go make bank, and deservedly so. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.